Hi, welcome back. It's me, Rosetta, again. You made it here. You're probably curious. Curious about what happens after the spark. In part 1, we explore the early signals. Who makes the first move, who pays, and so on. But this time, it's about what comes next. The unspoken rules, the invisible lines, the soft little shifts that happen once things get a little closer. And of course, there's no single answer, it's all fluid. But if you're ready to take a peek behind the curtain, let's begin. So, let's talk about something that's uniquely Japanese, the confession culture. In Japan, a relationship doesn't officially begin until someone says it clearly out loud. Something like, "Oh, I like you. Will you go out with me?" This kind of confession is called Kokuhaku. It's not just romantic, it's a kind of emotional contract. And without it, even if you've gone on a few dates, even if the vibe feels romantic, you're not a couple. Not in their eyes, at least. And that leads to another interesting thing. In Japan, it's also common not to label a hangout as a date unless you actually say so. So you might be thinking, we've been spending time together, it's clearly a thing. But from their side, they might just think, "Oh, you're so fun to be around with. You're such a good friend." So, if one day you suddenly go, "You know, I like you. I've liked you for a while actually," or they could be genuinely surprised, even shocked because, well, you never made it clear. And in this culture, if you don't say it, it doesn't exist. So, Kokuhaku is what flips the switch. It's what turns a moment into something more. In other cultures, it's different. You might flirt, go on a few casual dates, kiss, and slowly become a couple without necessarily saying the words. But sometimes it just happens. But in Japan, if you're into someone, don't leave it unspoken. Make it clear and say the words, because trust me, here it matters. Now, let's talk about dating around, or how many people you're seeing before things get official. In Japan, dating multiple people at the same time can feel a little shady. That's because in Japanese culture, you'll usually become a couple first, then take time to figure out if it works. So from the moment you say yes to the Kokuhaku confession, you're exclusive. But in the West, it's slightly different. Dating is often more like try on clothes. You see a few people, get a feel for who fits, and eventually you go steady. No hard feelings, no guilt, it's just how it is. That said, Japan is changing too, especially now that dating apps are part of the mainstream. Some people do go on a few dates before committing, but still, one-on-one dating is the norm. And things tend to become exclusive pretty early, often by the third date or so. So if you're dating someone from Japan, just be mindful. They might be looking for something serious sooner than you think. And a little clarity can go a long way. So next one up is, how often do couples meet? In Japan, once a week is pretty standard. And honestly, it works. People here really value their own time, and they need some time for their routines, friendships, family, and even in a relationship. Space is seen as a form of care, you could say. And needing time alone doesn't mean something's wrong. It just means you're refilling your own glass so you can pour into the relationship again when you're ready. But in other cultures, when two people click, the energy is different. More like want to see each other as much as possible. There's that strong pull to be together, especially with the plus one culture. Birthdays, barbecues, game nights. Your partner is always part of the scene. In Japan, though, if you show up to a guy's night with your girlfriend, there might be a subtle pose, a glance, a whisper that goes, "Why did he bring her?" Because here there's still that quiet code. TPO, time, place, and occasion, which is basically about what fits when and where. So, group harmony often comes before personal preference, and it's nothing personal, just a different dance. So, now let's get into PDA, public displays of affection. In Japan, getting too touchy-feely too soon can actually feel like a red flag. Like you might get, are you just playing around? Oh, are you that type? Kind of judgment. And there's also a strong sense of TPO, time, place, and occasion, like I just touched on previously. So even a simple hug in public can feel like a lot. Holding hands is usually the limit. Anything more, like kissing on the street, under the lamppost, yes, it's very romantic, but it's kind of a no-no here. And it's because affection is seen as private and intimate, so something meant to be shared behind closed doors. Otherwise, you might be disturbing the people around you. In other places, though, a kiss can be part of the vibe check. No kiss on the first date? Some people might even wonder, oh, are they even into me? So it's wild, isn't it? How the same action, a kiss, can feel so romantic in one place and way too much in another. Same lips, but total opposite signals. Well, so you made it to the end. And as we've seen, love looks different depending on where you are, and what's normal in one culture might be a total red flag in another. But hey, that's exactly what makes it so fascinating, right? And in the end, there's no single playbook for love. Just two people figuring out their own rhythm. So, what about you? Have you ever been surprised by the cultural differences in dating? If you do, I'd love to hear your story. So feel free to share in the comments. And there's so much more I'd like to share with you. So I hope you'll stay curious for the next one. Until then, bye, sweet dreams.